So this is a follow-up video to my last one about this international law firm where a couple of the partners, Lisa Monaco and Michael Dreeben, they're in the mix with Jack Smith, but they've been in the they're the shadow government. That's what you would call the deep state, is these people. And this firm that they're partners with is the most firm of the most disgusting people, because this site I found because a former lawyer used to work for them and is just exposed all this stuff. So I'm just getting a little more into what he also wrote on his site. On April 30th, 2015, after 3 years with this firm, during which I received nothing but praise from others, I told Brian Boyle that I did not want to work with someone who, among other things, had made anti-Muslim comments. Brian's first response a few days later was to tell me he would terminate me. He then started winding down my work, making it clear that he was serious. I thought this was illegal under employment law, but I accepted it and prepared to move on. Anti-Muslim comments were not that unusual, and I didn't want to waste my time and energy fighting to stay somewhere I wasn't wanted. But this changed when I discovered his past. Brian used to be a Guantanamo Bay torture attorney who made statements so cruel they would make Dick Cheney or John Yoo give pause. He also reportedly lied to a federal court. It was no wonder he responded to me as he did. I felt I should try to stand up to him, so I asked for help from the firm's diversity group. Reaching out to the leader of diversity and inclusion, Mary Ellen Connerty, and diversity and inclusion partner Walter Dellinger, I provided a detailed chronology of events and wrote the memo below. O'Melveny always marketed its diversity efforts, its annual diversity days, and its diversity committees. They would help me. They would do something about this. Yeah, basically they didn't. They basically made their money by doing sham investigations, initiating sham investigations. They're the lowest scum there is, really. It seemed to many of them just have abused women and helped companies cover up their patterns of abuse. So, for instance, this regarding the Me Too movement reaches the Lionsgate legal department. So what that highlighted part says is Lionsgate said it hired O'Melveny and Myers and undertook an independent probe, but Jaffe disagreed. Jaffe's the victim, but they tend to go after victims in the worst way. Yeah, bunch of lawyers, big surprise. She said some employees told her Levin himself was sometimes present when the lawyer questioned them. She said other witnesses told her HR and Levin called them into the office and intimidated them into not speaking to me or my attorney and not providing any testimony for me. I just want to put this out there. Don't ever think that human resources is there for you. They are not. I don't care what people say. They are not. They are there. They are basically a legal department that is there to protect the scumbags, the employers. I mean, not all employers are scumbags, but these days the big ones are. This was regarding Lionsgate. Some people may have remembered this. The victim, Miss Wendy Jaffe, a person of tremendous integrity, has reportedly returned the money, over $1 million, so that she could go public and warn people. I saw the way they silenced women, she stated, and I just couldn't live with myself. Hopefully this spurious practice whereby organizations like Lionsgate or USC are allowed to hire their own independent investigators comes to an end one day, especially when that investigator is someone with O'Melveny's history. Yeah. So, they did their own independent investigation. They always go out of their way to protect the scumbags and make the victims look horrible. Of course, in reality, the investigation may not be fair or independent. As I explained here, these investigations violate the most fundamental precept of the legal system, that each side be represented by their own lawyer who argue before an independent judge. In fact, if you want to know how O'Melveny will rule in an independent investigation, you may wish to figure out who in the organization pushed to hire them and what that person wants. You may be surprised by how often this technique predicts the conclusions in O'Melveny's reports. He goes on to talk about the NBA, different things. Yeah, you'd have to go on the site. There's so many different things here. And they just get a ton of money to do this disgusting stuff. He also said that a former COO for them almost killed himself just because of the stress, basically just working for criminals. And I already said in my last video how they corrupt the government. Does O'Melveny's lawyer's profit motive interfere? Please let me tell you about margins. A month ago, a tweet made it around the internet. In it, a young woman described a chilling ordeal she went through after allegedly being raped. It's the sort of thing that causes you to step back and question what sort of society we live in. According to her tweet, this young woman overcame significant adversity and got into Harvard's University of all schools. Back in 2014, she was allegedly sexually violated by a man at her school. Distressed by the aftermath, she tried to seek help from the school. Disappointed with Harvard's response to her request for help, she sacrificed even more of her life to sue the school, demanding a jury trial to raise awareness about what she described as Harvard's inadequacy in handling sexual assault cases. They also have, I'm not going to go into all, you can look all that up, but they also have a diversity lab. Diversity Lab is the organization that created the Mansfield Rule and certified O'Melveny's compliance. What a joke all these compliance agencies are. So I wrote them to see what goes into such certifications. Unfortunately, I haven't heard back, and after looking into them, I don't expect to. I say that because I took a moment to search the IRS website for Diversity Lab's financials. All nonprofits who receive $50,000 in annual contributions must file Form 990, which is made available to the public. But I couldn't find Diversity Lab in any listing of nonprofits, even though they appear to function on more than 50 grand of revenue a year. They have a staff of 13 people, and one of their efforts seeks $5 million from law firms. And here's the 13. Anybody would know. It's like, who are these people? It's basically all a sham. It makes me wonder how many of all these regulatory agencies are just a sham. Yeah, they're just a way for, CEOs, like the ones that come into hospitals, okay? Really, they just want to make employees fearful that, what if I say the wrong thing, because they'll come up and ask you questions. And really, who's getting government money from that? Likely the regulating agency and the damn CEO, okay? The whole thing's dirty. And there's so much more to go into with this place, but as long as we have this kind of garbage, this O'Melveny and Myers and these scumbags, this cesspool of human beings that will abuse women that go to them for help and do independent investigations and subject them to more pain and suffering, then yeah, this shit needs to be cleaned out. And these are the people that people want to say Trump's not above the law. Well, apparently the people from this law firm like Lisa Monaco and Michael Dreeben, they think they are above the law. Well, you're not above the people.